Welcome everyone to Intensity Broadcasting for FND Racing Tuesday night at Talladega Super Speedway. I am Atney and Weiss, and I'll be your broadcaster for tonight's race featuring the Gander Outdoor trucks and the exciting drivers from FND Racing. Little information about FND Racing. FND Racing is one of the oldest online racing simulation groups of any racing game simulation. Their roots go back to the era of Papyrus's NASCAR 4, which debuted 10 days before Dale Earnhardt's death in 2001. The core of the group can be traced back to the Ballon 38, 104-lap races that Monty Noyes hosted. Races back then were 104 laps. We migrated to NASCAR 2002 and NASCAR 2003 before jumping to iRacing. They are not a league, although they have done the league thing before. They're just a group of guys who share the same passion of heart-pumping, white-knuckle super speedway racing. While they do have a team within the group, they will work with those who race with them, win in other races. So if you're looking for great side-by-side action with very few or even no cautions, then check FND Racing out. Their rooms are open, and unless you prove to be a bonehead, you're welcome to race with us. FND Racing was off last week, which gave us a chance to broadcast some exciting short-track racing. This week, FND Racing is back with their signature super speedway action. Before the break, FND was racing with the ARCA cars at Daytona. The race on Tuesday the 14th had an uncommonly high amount of cautions, with Everett Lane taking the checkered flag. Then on Friday the 17th, we got off to a rough start with a caution at lap 2 before settling in for some great racing, including a round of green flag pit stops with Robert Valentine getting the victory. Tonight's format will be a 2-lap qualifier and a 50-lap race. The broadcast tonight is brought to you by the sponsors of Atlee Weiss Racing, which include Premier Heating and Air Services, Juan's Mexican Cafe and Cantina, Dayton Weiss State Farm, Go-To Property Services, Smith Wraps and Graphics, Damon's Lawn Service and Landscaping, Motivated Auto Sales, and Bobby's Auto Service Center. Thank you again to all our sponsors of Atlee Weiss Racing and Intensity Broadcasting. So tonight we are racing at Talladega Super Speedway, and here is a little bit of information on this wonderful super speedway located in Talladega, Alabama. Talladega Super Speedway lives up to its name of all the closed-circuited motorsports facilities in the world where sanctioned NASCAR auto races are held. It is the fastest. Constructed by the France family's International Speedway Corporation 10 years after Daytona International Speedway, Talladega was built slightly longer at 2.66 miles with steeper 33-degree banking, which guaranteed record-setting speeds. The pole speed for NASCAR's first race in 1969 was a stunning 199.466 miles per hour, almost 30 miles per hour faster than the Indy cars were lapping at Indianapolis Motor Speedway at the time. In 1975, Mark Donohue set the world closed course speed record by driving a Porsche 917-30 around Talladega at 221.160 miles per hour. Donohue's world record stood for 4 years before finally being broken at Italy's 7.5-mile Nardo high-speed test facility. Rule changes in 1987 mean Bill Elliott's 212.809 miles per hour lap will likely stand forever as the qualifying record at Talladega and for the entire NASCAR history. Talladega Superspeedway is still the fastest track on the schedule, and it holds the record for the fastest 500-mile stock car race at 188.354 miles per hour, which was Mark Martin's winning speed in May of 1997 and produces exciting fender-to-fender racing every year. Talladega holds the record also for most leaders in a 500-mile race and most lead changes as well. But on the last lap, don't ever bet against a driver named Earnhardt. Dale Sr. racked up an amazing 10 NASCAR race victories, and Dale Jr. captured 4 straight wins during the 2002-2003 seasons. Talladega variety of stock car racing events every year, and competing in high-speed packs at Talladega has proven to be challenging and exciting for iRacers as well. right now, practice is wrapping up, and let's look at some of the fast times. Paul Sheldon has set a 50.791. Eric Laurie set a 50.793. Joseph Wright had a 50.814. Rob Malone has set a 50.890, and Joe Delavecchia has set a 50.956. Again, tonight's race will be a 2-lap qualifier and a 50-lap race. Should be exciting. While practice is just wrapping up, final laps are going to be turned, and let's cover qualifying and see who will be the fastest. 2 laps. Normally the second lap is the fastest, and that will determine the starting order for this race, but again, the starting order does not mean anything at all. Let's see what will happen and who will be the fast cars. One driver's getting off to a good start. We got Joe Delavecchia, Joseph Wright. A few drivers are getting out there early to set their laps. See who is the first driver in the race to set a time. It's not quite there yet. Right now looking at Joseph Wright in that number 2 machine. Looking to see if he can set a fast time. He was pretty fast in practice. I believe he was 4th or 5th. And let's see if that carries on into qualifying. Right now on that wonderful straightaway and in to these high banked 33-degree turns. That's crazy. Very high, and this track is very fast as well. Should see some great racing here at Talladega Super Speedway. And what a super speedway it is. One of the greatest racetracks on the NASCAR circuit. Possibly one of the greatest racetracks in the world. It's a great facility with a large 2.6-mile track. And these cars are racing on it tonight. Let's see how they will do. Here in the virtual Talladega, the crowds are packed with spectators, all waiting to see these cars on track. Getting close for our first laps to be completed on this 2.6-mile track. Joseph Wright is about to finish his first lap. He'll have another one. And a few other drivers that started with him will also set times. Looks like Joe Delavecchia starts it off right with a 55.106. Very fast time. Still a lot of other drivers are still waiting to qualify. And we'll see if anybody can beat that number 052 car. 2 minutes and 10 seconds are on the clock. Dale Willoughby now has set a new fastest time, breaking in to the 54s with a 54.939. That 7 car is flying out there. We'll see if that carries into the race. Still, a few other drivers are qualifying. Not far behind him was Paul Sheldon with a 55.086. That was a very fast time, also not far behind Dale Willoughby. Still, like the most dominant driver, Gabe Butler, he still hasn't qualified yet. Daniel Emrandal, Eric Laurie, Thomas Holder, Tommy Labar, Josh Click, Gary Jenkins, all of them are still waiting to qualify. With, ooh, here's Gabe Butler. He looks like he is about to start putting out some times as he's on the edge of pit road. But he goes off then. Looks like qualifying is done pretty much because nobody could complete a lap in 49 seconds unless you started it earlier. We're going to take a break here and go over the starting order and maybe get a driver interview.
All right, gentlemen. All right, gentlemen, welcome to FND's Tuesday night race. I think everybody here has raced here before, but since we have the new guy, Donald Sadusky, we'll go over him one more time. All right, we're going to race 50 laps tonight with 60% fuel. Cautions are on. You do have 2 resets tonight. No lucky dog, but we do the wave buys. Race leader starts on green and green only. The starts and restarts. No changing lane until we get past the start-finish line, and there's no re-wide until we get on the backstretch. iRacing sporting code is in effect at all times. Black flags will only be cleared under caution laps. When a black flag gets cleared, you will also receive an EOL. And I think that covers everything. That being said, race hard, race clean, and I hope to see everybody at the end. Good luck. Thanks for coming out. Yeah, we will. Nice lap, Dale.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 10-4, I got you, Atlee.
What is your strategy for tonight's race, and what are we going to expect from you?
I think we got enough guys here tonight that are in good standing with the league, and we don't have any new guys, so I think that you'll have a pretty clean race, and you're going to be looking for green flag pit stops. People who get on and get off clean are going to win the race.
Thanks for that, and we wish you good luck, and we'll hope to see you on the track.
Thanks, Atlee.
And that one, again, was Joe Wright. He'll be in that number 2 machine. See if he will have success. He was very fast in qualifying. Speaking of qualifying, let's see if we can talk now to Rob Malone, race director. Hey, Rob, do you copy? Hey, Rob, it's Atlee in the booth. Do you copy? Checking in with it later, because the race is actually about to start. The starting order isn't set on the screen. Something is wrong with the standings. Starting in the first row, it's Dale Willoughby. In second place, it's Paul Sheldon. Then in row number 2, the pace car is pulling in. We'll just do the row 2, Joe Della Vecchia in the number 052 and Joseph Wright in the number 2 car. Then it's Donald Sadusky in the number 19 and Rob Malone in the number 83.
Green, green, green.
Green flags out here at Talladega Superspeedway. In the front row is Paul Sheldon and Dale Willoughby. Let's see now the drivers can start switching lines, and then when we get on the back straightaway, we can start seeing the third line. Since FND Racing does only race at super speedways, out of the 2 tracks, Daytona and look, you were seeing it now. I was about to mention that we usually see 3 wide more at Talladega than Daytona, and we're seeing it right now. Joe Della Vecchia moved up to that top line. With him is Thomas Holder. A little switching around there. Looks like Paul Sheldon, he's still the leader of that middle line. So we're 3 wide going into the front straightaway. I didn't think I'd see that this early on in the race. Oh, making some moves all the way up there. There goes Eric Laurie. Rob Malone moves up there to the top line. He might move back down to the middle. Yep, so does Eric Laurie. Look at that. The 2 drivers, Donald Sadusky in the number 19. Right in front of him is our current leader, Dale Willoughby. Will the middle line get some momentum? Top line seems to be dominant. Ooh, a new driver cuts out to lead the middle line. That's the 9 car of Gary Jenkins, and it looks like another car pulls into draft right behind him. That is the number 322 of Maurice Johnson. That should give that middle line a little bit more momentum to catch up to that 7 car. Looks like Thomas Holder, he's trying to decide whether he should be on the bottom or the top. I think, yep, he moves up there to the top line. That puts him behind the number 52 car of Paul Sheldon. Side by side, that middle line did get some momentum. Gary Jenkins is trying to get past that number 7 Miller Genuine Draft car of Dale Willoughby. Look at that Toyota Tundra on the top line, trying to make the move right behind him. If he does take the lead, that'll put Maurice Johnson in the lead in that middle line. There seems like there's a group there that's maintaining the top line has 5 cars and the bottom line has more, but it doesn't always mean the more drivers on your line, the faster it goes. There could be a line of 2 cars and they could be going very fast. It's all about the drivers. We'll see how that will pay off. Dale Willoughby still with the lead. Gary Jenkins has not made the move onto Dale Willoughby. Oh, there goes Gary Jenkins. He finally makes that move onto Dale Willoughby. That now puts Maurice Johnson as the new leader of the middle line. We'll see what that 322 can do. Right behind him is the number 52 car of Paul Sheldon, giving the 322 car a little bit of momentum to push him in front of that 9 car so he can take the lead. Looks like a few cars went down onto pit road. I saw that number 2 car of Joseph Wright. I think he dipped down there onto pit road. Let's look at the pit lane cam to see who. Oh, a few drivers did pull off. I do believe one of them was Joseph Wright in the number 2 machine. And one other there. Yep, it's Joseph Wright in the number 2 machine. And the number 83 car of Rob Malone. I do wonder why they decided to make the move that they did. might be they might have car troubles, or it's some strategy that they're using and it could pay off, or it might not work in their favor. We'll see as the race plays out. After getting that checkout on the cars that went down to pit lane, still Gary Jenkins remains in the lead with Dale Willoughby right behind him. But that top line of Maurice Johnson is lurking right next to him. We'll see if he makes the moves in the coming laps. He's got the 52 right behind him, giving him some momentum, trying to get past that 9 car. We haven't seen that third line yet. We did see it early on in the race. I think those drivers were just trying to get some fresh air. Oh, there's a car that moves up to that middle line. We're going to call it the middle line in case there is a top line eventually, but it looks like the 99, that's Tom Labar. He ends up moving back down into the bottom. Today, tires will not be an issue in this 50 lap race, but they should have to pit at least one time for fuel, so that should be something to look at in this race. Fuel window is between 20-25 laps. We're still not at around that time yet. Still, we're going to see some green flag racing. Speaking of green flag racing, this has been a pretty clean race here at Talladega Superspeedway. We're kind of sitting on the edge of our seats waiting for the infamous big one. For the past 2 races, 2 weeks ago, since we did not race last week, we saw 2 races where there were uncommonly, as I said before in the intro, there were more cautions than usual in those races. It was a little bit odd. A few new drivers that don't normally win would win those races, a few newer ones. But we're back here after taking a little bit of a break last week. If you were with us on Atlee Leash Racing and Intensity Broadcasting, we did some short track races with the street stocks, and that was very enjoyable, but it is great to be back here on these super speedways with whatever type of car they choose. It could be ARCA cars, Cup cars, truck cars. We don't know, but we do know that it is always fun. These trucks, though, they can be a handful, but these drivers are doing a great job tonight, keeping it clean. We will see, though, if there might be a wreck, or it might be a small wreck, or maybe a big one. We might, 41 laps to go on the board now. We're on lap number 10. Still a lot more race to go. It's been Gary Jenkins in the lead on that bottom line. Ooh, the 2 drivers leading both lines got pretty close to each other. I wonder, good thing they didn't wreck, because that would have brought out a caution. We can still get racing. Try to see if any moves will be made. The top line seems to have more drivers, but they haven't quite got past Gary Jenkins. We're going right now into the cockpit of the number 7 car to see what it looks like for him. He's drafting behind another car. I mean, we could look at some of the leaders' views, but drafting